Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and I have my paper pumpkin, my Christmas one. It's the November 2018 To You and Yours paper pumpkin, and so I'm going to do a couple alternate things, no cards. Okay, so I got these little tart tins, and I believe I ordered them on Amazon. I got them last year because I like to make ornaments with them. So you just have to make sure you measure the size, because one year I ordered some and they were like this big around. So just make sure that you look and check the size. These ones are 3.5 diameter, 3.5 inch diameter. So I put some lace on here. This is lace that I got at Walmart, so it's easy to get, but you could use lace or ribbon from Stampin' Up! As well. This is the Stampin' Up! Twine that came with this paper pumpkin, and I just poked 2 holes in the top of the tin using a small nail and hammer so that it'll hang like this as an ornament. Okay, and then I took some of the paper that came with this paper pumpkin and I punched a die, and this is just a die that I have that I use on my Big Shot, but you could use any one of these. Let's see, this one is 3 inch diameter. So whatever punch you have, or if you just want to cut a circle or whatever, that'll fit down in here. And it does have the little bump in the middle for the tart, but that's kind of a nice spot and it gives you some dimension. Okay, so I'm going to use my glue gun and just put some glue on the back of this, because I don't think any of my other glue will stick that great. I mean, you could probably use the little glue dots, but I don't want to make you guys suffer with watching me do that, because they're too fiddly. I've just decided they're just too fiddly. So I don't want to use them for this. I don't know how I dripped that glue right there, but oops, I did. Oops, now I pulled this off. Good job. Alright, let me fix that. I must have dripped it earlier. I thought I just did it. I'll snip it off. Alright, so there's that. And I'll get in here and snip this little piece of glue that's hanging down. There we go. That looks better. So you just want to make sure that you're orienting towards the top. You know, you don't want to end up having it be sideways after you finish. So just want to make sure that's up there. And then I took a picture of my children, and this is a long time ago, but I put some of the bows that I punched out that come with the kit. They're the laser cut ones, like Stampin' Up's been using a lot of these ones. And I just put them across here, and I did snip them and so that they'll fit, because as you'll notice, they stick out really far this way for this. I mean, they're great for cards. It's just I would have had it like in their face and everything. So I just snipped this part off and rearranged it so that it fits a little bit better around the picture, like that. And then I made my own sequin, like glue dots out of red. They give you the gold ones, but I just wanted to use red ones. So, but you could definitely use the gold ones that come in the kit. That would be great. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of these. I'm going to use some of my bigger dimensionals that I have, just so I don't waste all of my Stampin' Up! Ones. I have these nice big fat squares, so that's kind of what I want to use, that I don't have to use as many. I'm just going to put a couple of those on the back. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. It's been pretty nice here. I am going to add a little glue, because I don't always trust the stick on dimensionals, especially when they're not a name brand, because they do tend to sometimes come off a little bit easier. So I'm just dabbing a little bit on there. You don't have to do that. And I'm going to put this right in here, like so. And I'm going to move it up just a little towards the top, because I'm going to put something else down lower, and I want to make sure that I kind of get it in there right. And it already like stuck fast. So I stamped the Merry and Bright on one of these little things that punch out of the kit, and I cut the ends off because it was just a little bit too long for what I wanted for it to be able to fit inside of this right here. So but if you had a bigger tin, you could definitely use that, and I'm just going to use my hot glue gun so that this stays down. And I kind of curled it with my round tool here, and I'll show you in just a second how I did that. Sorry if I get my head in there. I'm just going to stick it down at the bottom. It says Merry and Bright, and that's with the kit. So I just kind of do this kind of thing, you know, to get a curve on it. So that's what I did there. And I think I might use a couple of these little sequins from the paper pumpkin. Use my little tool. This is a tool I've had forever. It's not Stampin' Up, but sorry, my hands are a little shaky this morning. Some mornings, I don't know, I just wake up like that. I want it covering the M. There we go. And then I will add another one over here, if I can get it off without messing it up. Seems like I always pull the sticky off the back or something. And put this one down here. Maybe. It's the only tricky part when you're working on something dimensional, because you can't, you know, just hold it down hard. Yep, that sticky just wanted to stick with the poker, so I'm going to have to get another one. I'm just going to do it with my hand, it's easier. There we go. Sorry about that. So just a little something for some shine down in those corners, as you can see. And then I took a piece of that same twine and I made a bow, and the way you get these with the multiple loops, I mean it's fairly self-explanatory, but I just took a piece and I took two or three, I think I did do three fingers, and I wrapped it around a few times, however many times you want, and pinched it in the middle. So depending on how many loops you want on your bow, you're going to pinch it in the middle and then just take a piece of this and tie it around the middle. So I have the loops, and then I took another piece of twine and tied it around this middle section so that it you know, gives you the multiple loops and multiple tails. Okay, so I'm going to hot glue that up at the top. Let's go this way. Back up here. Sorry, see my hands, I got the and I'm going to just stick that right there. And I'm going to trim some of these tails because some of them are a little bit longer than others. Kind of at a diagonal just so they stay a little bit together. I think that's pretty good. This one can come out here. And these tips do fray pretty easy, so if you want to, you can add a little touch of glue at the tips to keep them from fraying, unless you want them to do that. So that's our little ornament. And then I'm going to do a box. So I took a piece of, this is just wood grain paper that I have, but I know Stampin' Up! Has wood grain paper, so if you have that, you can use that. And this box top is 4.5 by 4.5. So that's what I cut this under piece. And then this paper comes in the paper pumpkin, and I cut this one 4 by 4. So I'm going to go ahead and glue those down. Oh, take the lid off. This would be a fun gift for, you know, grandparents, aunts, uncles, whoever, just, or even a really good like friend of the family that knows your kids. Or you could even use like vintage photos would look really cool inside of there. I've done that before. I've made some with old vintage family pictures and put them in those tins, and they look really neat. So that's another great idea. So I want that down really good, so I'm going to make sure I push all the way on these edges out here so that it doesn't lift off the box. And on this, I think I will use dimensionals, so I'm going to use my big fat ones again, so I don't use up my other ones as fast. I went out the other day to grab a few things at the store, and it is crazy out there. I know it's that time of the year, and I sometimes forget, but wow. It was a little bit nuts at Costco the other day. People get a little pushy. I think we all have to slow down and try to remember to be respectful to each other, and it seems like we're lacking in a little bit of that these days, but maybe that's just my take on it. I think we just all get so busy with our lives that we forget some of those important life skills. So, and then this is just going to go right in the middle. And then I'm going to take some of the pine boughs, and I need to punch out a few more. Thought I had a whole page punched out, but I don't know what I did with them at this moment. They're under my mess somewhere, I'm sure. These laser cuts that Stampin' Up! Does are really neat. I like them a lot. Because you can use the positive and the negative. You know, the negative makes a great stencil. So, alright, and I'm just going to take some of these and go down this edge right here. So I'm going to get my little glue, because it works better with these laser cut pieces. Oh, you know, I'm going to wait on that because I have this thing I want to stamp and I need to figure out where I'm going to put it first. Sorry, these are tiny. Okay, so these come in this paper pumpkin as well, these punch outs. And then we got the cherry cobbler, which is a super pretty red color. And I'm going to use the stamp that says Merry Christmas to you and yours. This would be kind of a fun teacher's gift too. Like you could put a picture of your child, you know, like one of their school pictures in it, and that would be a fun teacher's gift. You could even use like Tim Holtz has those paper dolls, and those would even look really neat inside of there. Center it, and we're just going to push down and hold it. I like to really try to get that imprint to soak in. It gives you a better image. Okay, and it's stuck a little, so tap it a little. Oops, I'm sorry, tap you guys a little, knock my camera over. Oh, I got it all crooked, sorry. There we go, apologize. It's the only problem with a tripod when you get doing this stuff. And I'm going to put this kind of not, you know, in the middle. I want it off to this side a little bit because I'm going to put the pine boughs right there. And I think I'm going to lift that as well with some dimensionals. It kind of takes the place of a bow or something, so I like the idea of lifting it. Another thing, if I use these big squares, it's a little less fiddly for me, so it doesn't take me as long and torture you guys with taking the paper off the backs. Alright, so I'm going to turn it just a little bit. And I'm going to take some of these now, put some glue on them. If my glue will come out, there it goes. These are kind of tricky, you just got to kind of put glue wherever you can find a spot, basically, that's thick enough to hold some. You could run them through some kind of, you know, like sticky type, can't remember what those are called, Xyrons or whatever. I don't know if anybody even has those anymore, but if you do, you could do that. I used to have one, but I don't know where that even went. But now they have all these nice little tiny tipped applicators, so it works pretty good. And I want to tuck this one. I probably should have done it first. And I'm putting them flat against the paper and then these up on top, so there's a little dimension there. And I'm going to snip this piece off up here because I don't want it hanging off that much. And I'm going to take my little red sequins I made. I'm not going to use that because I want to stick to that more than anything else. And I'm just going to kind of put these around on the pine boughs. And the gold would work awesome too. I just wanted red, so. Alright. So that's the top of my box. And I'm going to take some tissue that I had and just put this right in the middle. Oh, get down in there. And obviously you'd want to make sure that your little tin is going to fit in your box before you decorate all of it, because that would be bad. And then I also was going to do a little tag here. And on this little kite, I just cut one of these in half. And then I'm going to take the stamps and the For You. And I have these little wooden tags, but you could definitely just use a paper tag. They're just wood. I think I got these at Hobby Lobby. So they're pretty readily available, but if you don't have those, you can easily just, you know, use paper. This tag is, let's see how long it is. It's 3 inches long, and it's an 1 3/4 inches wide. So I just cut a piece of paper that fits right in here in the print, that red flannel kind of, or plaid. I'm just going to glue it on with some good glue. And you could have done this as your to from or whatever up here too. You don't have to make a separate tag. I just thought it'd be kind of fun. I'm going to stamp that first so that I can tuck it under. I think I'll use the cherry cobbler again. I'm just going to plunk it right down. I'm going to get a little bit closer to the point in the little flag, because the other side will have a little bit of an overlap of a pine bough. That one came out a little bit better than my Merry Christmas. That's the only thing when you use them for the first time that sometimes they get a little, you don't get a really clear image, and it doesn't look horrible on there, but you can also just stamp them off on something first, and that works a little bit better. So I'm going to put this down, maybe if I can get a hold of it. Just put a little glue on there. I'm just going to do it a little askew. And then I'm going to take my pine bough, put some glue on it as well. And then on the back you can write on it, you know, just to and from, or you can stamp to, from, and then write whoever it's to, or write a little note or message, you know. And kind of frame that a little bit. And it hangs out over here, which is fine. You can also stamp on these wood tags, so if you didn't want to put the paper on and everything, you could just stamp directly on the wood tag. It works great. And those wood slices, that's another fun thing to stamp with your stamps. I did that last year quite a bit, these kind. This is an old Stampin' Up! Stamp, but it has the to, from on it. And then I just drilled a hole in it, and, well, my husband drilled the hole, but that worked great for those. So then you can attach this however you want. You could like string this up under there, or, you know, however you want. Just stick it on or tie it, you know, or just stick this part on to your box. But just a fun little gift all in one. So I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye now.